Hello, I'm Lady Calamere, and I welcome you to my channel. I'm doing my 271st presentation, and it will be on the goddess Eris, and it comes from this lovely deck. This card comes from this lovely deck, Ancient Feminine Wisdom of Goddesses and Heroine by Kay Stevenson and Brian Clark. So the card is Strife. In Greek, she is Eris. In Rome, she's known as Discordia, Discord. She is also the main, she's pretty much she is the goddess of the Discordian belief and religion. She is a goddess that shakes things up. She's a goddess of strife, discord, chaos, and and war. So her parentage, it depends on whether you're talking about Hesiod or Homer. That would be pronounced Omer in Greek. But to Hesiod, especially the Hesiod Theogony, she is the daughter of Nyx. Homer places her as the daughter of Zeus and Hera, which would be Zeus and Hera in Greek. Her other parentage is that of Nyx, the goddess of night, which I did a presentation on, and the god of darkness, Erebus. So he is the god of black inky darkness, where Nyx is the goddess of night, the night sky. I'll be right back once again. Duty calls. Kitty, 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 duty, kitty, duty. Sorry about that, but I know my cats are gonna want to play. So she is the goddess who can cause things to happen. But her exact opposite, her 180 opposite, is Harmonia. So Harmonia is harmony, where Eris is strife. So to Homer, Eris is actually the sister of Ares, and she delights in following him. So, her attribute is a golden apple, the apple of discord. So, like I said, she's the primary deity of Discordian belief, tradition, religion, however you want to call it. And so, one of the things that caused the Trojan War is because the gods snubbed her during a wedding feast. And she wasn't too happy about that. So she was not invited to the wedding of Thetis and Peleus. So she comes in, she flies in, she sneaks in, she pretty much party crashes, and she has a golden apple, and on the golden apple it was to the fairest. One would think that was for the bride. But Hera, Hera, and Aphrodite, fought over it. They were arguing. And one thing led to the other, where they wanted the king of the gods to judge who gets the apple. Zeus knew that no matter what he chose would be a shit show for him. So, of course, Paris basically delegated to decide who would get the golden apple. One would think cut it in thirds or to share it. But Paris was being bribed. Hera, the queen of the gods, said, I will give you stately power. I will give you prestige. Athena says, well, I'll give you wisdom and strategy in warfare. Aphrodite said, I'll give you the most beautiful woman in the world. And she's already married to the king of Troy. Her name was Helen. Paris chose Aphrodite as the fairest of them all and got Helen, but not without a bloody, nasty war of total chaos and destruction, in which Eris enjoyed. So, Eris, there were seen as almost like two of them, where the one who is the daughter of Nyx, or just Nyx and Erebus, is not as bloodthirsty as the one who is the daughter of Zeus and Hera, Zeus and Hera. So, Eris has a way of causing disputes and fights among the gods and goddesses, as well as among mortals. Eris also has many children, some of them with no father. So, Orcos, Ponos, Limos, Lethe, Algea, the Makai, the Phonai, Desmonia. And some of these, like, if you look at Ponos, he's a deity of toil, hard work, and extreme physical labor, not just hard work. And if you look at Limos, Limos is a deity of starvation and hunger. So, an empty cabinet, an empty refrigerator, an empty stomach. Lethe was after warfare, and that was a spirit of forgetfulness and oblivion, especially after warfare. Not always after warfare, but to forget the deities after war. And if the Makai were spirits and deities of combat, war, bloodshed, and battle. So we're always seeing what her children are. And if you look at Orcos, is a spirit who dealt with swearing of oaths and punished those who broke their word and promises. And if you look at Ate is a goddess of infatuation, blind loyalty, blind folly, and delusion, and dealing with impulses that would lead to total ruin. And the Phonoi, who were also her children, dealt with killing and murder, slaughter. So these were spirits that dealt with, who presided over war and battlefield slaughter. So these are just some of her children. And as the sister of Eris, she loves her brother. She really does. And Eris loves her. But among Hesiod, it's almost like a bit different, where she's seen more approachable. Now, is she approachable? To some people, people would, yes, yes, yes. But understand, she is a goddess of chaos. She is one of the dark goddesses. She's seen very beautiful, and she has wings, like black wings, and sometimes she has wings on her feet. So, I mean, Eris is also the mother of the cacodemons. And cacodemon are, well, if you look at the word cacodemon, it means evil demons or very bad spirits which plagued humanity. So Algea deals with pains and being sore and pain and sadness, weeping. The Nikea, who she also has children with, deals with fights and being bitter with someone and having quarrels with them. And the Pseudologi also, her children, which deals with not being truthful, lies, deception. So Hesiod works, also the works of Hesiod said, beware of all the fifth days of every month. Be aware of the fifth day of every month, for it is harsh and angry. And it says that it was on the fifth day, the Erinyes, the Furies, the Furies, helped Horkos, the bearing of Horkos, whom the goddess discord Eris gave birth to plague those who lie with an oath. When you swear, when you make an oath, when you promise and then you lie, to punish them. Hesiod also said Eris, when the Pandora's jar was open upon the humans of Earth, in which this jar freed all these problems, that Eris pretty much was like, oh, goody. Then, of course, in the golden apple of discord is actually the Homeric epic. So that's a Homeric poem, the Homeric works, in which Zeus plans with the goddess of justice, Themis, to bring about the war, of the Trojans against Greek, in which here comes Eris, and that just shook things up just enough to cause the war. Eris is if you look at I'm trying to think. Eris is insatiable. She has an insatiable desire to see blood, to bloodshed. Even after when all the deities have pretty much left or withdrawn their power from the battle, she remained dancing, singing, rejoicing over the slaughter and laughing and having a good old time, wading in the blood of humans and looking at the destruction and smelling death. So there is also the story between Heracles and Eris, in which he meets her. So, and that's in, it's a small story. And again, she doesn't have a whole lot of stories, but Eris is also called the Lady of Sorrow, as in the Homer Iliad, with the battling of warriors, and she watches them fighting like wild animals, like wild wolves. And she was gladdened. She'd smile when she sees the battlefield and people tearing each other apart. And it was said that she alone of the gods and goddesses, attended to this very action of destruction and warfare. So right now we're dealing with Hurricane Milton. What a great time to talk about Eris, right? For all this chaos. And also, you know, I'm dealing with right now, as y'all know, I'm in Florida. And all my friends in Florida, I hope you stay alive and stay safe. And everyone in Florida, stay alive, stay safe. I hope y'all have been prepared. So, a lot of the deities weren't too fond, especially of Eris, who is the daughter of Zeus and Hera. In fact, some people see her as evil and will not even work with her. But the Discordian was like, she shakes things up. She makes things that are not true, true, and things that are true, not true, and that she is like the power of chaos, where anything can happen. Here's the wild card. Take with it from what you will. Do with it with what you will. Bend and shape your reality. To shake up the mold, to shake things up so it doesn't go stagnant. So she's overjoyed to work with the Caris, the death daemons, the death deities, and she also enjoys working with Moros, who Moros means the doom of death. And she becomes maddened with happiness over it. And she also brings panic and fear. She brings panic attacks. She brings anxiety attacks. She can be used against an enemy. And she can also toughen one up. You know what I mean? It is said that when she comes, she can make the earth quake beneath her feet. That out of her mouth, that she's able to basically shoot fire out of her mouth. And her voice sounds like that of thunder. So her voice is that of thunder. Reminds me of that Rotting Christ song. If you know, you know. The voice of thunder. So I wanted to get this statue. I wasn't able to. It was her holding a white and gold statue of her holding a golden apple out, basically to the prettiest. And there's sometimes when I post something and people go crazy over it because they're just being oversensitive. I there's sometimes I would take a picture of I would like go to if I'm outside I would take a picture of a golden apple and say to the fairest and just keep on laughing. And it's just something dumb that people just get all crazy over. Like I remember posting something about, a petition to sign against this horrible person who hurt a dog, and one lady got offended and saying that helping this lady. No, I'm not. This is a petition to have this lady, to find this lady and have her arrested. But she got all crazy, and of course I believe I put a golden apple on the thread, and she was my friend and she should have known better, but some people are just cuckoo, and that was before Facebook. I'd known her, so whatever. So Eris is able to really be the wild card. That's what I would put her. That's what I literally say. Anything that deals with wildness, I would put her. And she's just does what she wants. She's great for cursing. She's great for hexing. But she's also great to change a situation for good or bad. If change is coming, change is coming. She can, like, shake things up. And did you know Typhon? Eris was the escort, was Typhon's escort in the fight, which fought against Zeus. So, yeah, she also was with that, but also, and Enyo, different gods, held like equal balance between the two sides, between Typhon and Zeus. So, yeah. So there's also Enyo that she works with, which is a goddess of war, which is basically sort of like a goddess of Bellona, which I did on. So look up my channel, Bellona. I also did one on Hera and Zeus and Eris, so check that out. So even if you look at Nonos Dionysiaca, because Dionysius is how to say Dionysus in Greek, so it's Dionysius in Greek. And against the war against in India, the Indians in India, a dream comes to him, which Eris, the goddess of war, who came in the shape of the Titan Rhea, and was seated in her chariot drawn by lions. So she comes into the dream, and that Eris stood by the sleeping Dionysius and told the Dionysius to sleep. You sleep, Dionysius. But the Indian king Dariades summons you to war, and that you just pretty much sleep here and make merry. And that Hera mocks you and makes fun of you. And when she sees your Enyo on the run and running away, you drag your armies to party and dance. And Eris was ashamed to show herself before him. And that she shrinks, that basically she shrinks from Hera. She's, I shrink from the immortals because your doings are not worthy of the goddess of the Titans, Rhea. And as we can see, that she's basically, that's how she starts shit. So we see her with that. And in the scene from the war against Dionysius, Eris comes in and he shouts and screams and sounds like a thunder of 9,000 warriors, and Eris is by his side to support Eris. And then comes all the deities like Deimos, Terra, and Phobos to basically help their Yetis. So we see Eris does also marital discord. Marital discord. Where she can cause fights if she wants. So if we look at Eris, that she can change things. So if you're in a bad relationship, she can shake things up where you leave. If you're in a bad situation, she can shake things up so that you can leave. But again, sometimes her ways is not always, of course, nice. But there are people who are very devoted to Eris, and that they say that she's actually she's misunderstood for what she does, and sometimes understood. Some things are, what's true isn't, and what isn't true is true. So there's that with chaos magic. And of course, not every chaos magician works with Eris. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's scary chaos magicians that work with demons, angels, deities, and sigils, and all sorts like that. So I do chaos magic. I have been known to do chaos magic for many, many, many years. So Hesiod said that there wasn't one Eris, there's two, and there has always been two upon this our realm, our planet. And there is one that you can really enjoy and love when you understand her. The other one is very hateful and hurtful, and can be very cruel. And the two they call Eris, and they have separate natures, or like two sides of one coins. And that there's one that is born, the one of the elder daughters of Nyx, who is so kind. She is far kinder than the other Eris, and that she sits on high and dwells in the light, bright air, and that she has her roots set upon the earth and among mortals, and she is far kinder, and she pushes ones to work. So if someone's lazy, she basically puts a pin up their butt and makes them do things. She makes people look at the other people who are rich and wants to be rich too, and works for it, and that they will work and they will toil so that they can improve themselves and be able to take care of themselves and not be a shiftless, lazy loser. So just sitting there and not doing nothing with their life. I've known some people, all they want to do is just eat, sleep, shit, and play video games. So it pushes one to better themselves, to better their family, to better their community, and therefore bettering the world. And that she is good to mortals. This Eris is good to mortals. And then there's another one who is hateful, and that pretty much she loves to cause strife, craziness, war, and she loves to cause people to slaughter each other. She is harsh, and that no man loves her. It said man, maybe woman, I don't know, but no human really loves her, but uses her when they want to promote a fight or during war. And this Eris is harsh. And excuse me for the blinking lights, that's my TV I'm watching. I have to keep an eye on this storm. So, as you know, I'm in Florida. So I have to watch my ass, cover my ass. So just in case there's a tornado warning and I'm not aware of it, so I can be aware of it. We've had a bunch of tornado warnings today. So, and that means a tornado is spotted. A tornado watch means conditions are right for it. Tornado warning means, yeah, there's a warning a tornado can be here. So, anyways, we got Loki. Who better to help me with chaos than the god of chaos himself, Loki Lofison? There you are. Here he is. He's happy. He wants to be with us. And he's sitting on the cat. I mean, on the card. The cat's on the card, not the card on the cat. So, Eris is also deals with as an infernal goddess. Yes, infernal. And Virgil describes her as a complete bag of nuts. Basically, the lunatic, crazy, discord, strife, Eris, whose basically hair is all caught up in a headband, and it is the headband in her hair is drenched and soaked and covered with blood and gore. And she also deals with infernal shapes and dealing with ghosts, and that she's also dealing with the underworld and Tartarus, and dealing with Hades, and basically dealing with wrath. She deals with anger, wrath, but you also see that she pushes one to better themselves, to get out of her comfort zone, to, not take the easy path, to really strengthen yourself by body, mind, and spirit, and to go for the gold and not go for nothing. She basically can be used if you have a son or daughter or sister or brother or friend that's just, we'll just say this: if you have another half that's basically not doing their share of work, to either shape up or ship out. And that's basically where this one's coming. Shape up or ship out. Get your life in order. Join the military if you have to get your life in order. Go to, send them to military school, especially if they're not doing what they're supposed to and they're just getting in trouble or almost getting in trouble with the law. Shape up or ship out. That's it. So sometimes she's like tough noogies. Like, rap in the head with a 2x4 and say, "Hey, stupid, wake up." That would be Eris. And she's not everyone's cup of tea. She really is not. I know some people that love her and want and worship her, and that's cool. So what will we give her? Well, apples. Apples is a great thing, especially a nice yellow apple we can give to her. But some people give her their blood. Others give her the fruits of their labor, some of the fruits of their labor, and that could be picking from your garden, or I just went shopping. I'm gonna give something. I'm gonna give a portion of this to Eris. Maybe some slices of bread, or here's some fruit, or something that I bought from the store. You know, you can't go wrong with that. Or you know, if or something like, it could be chocolate. You can't go wrong with chocolate. But also Eris is partial to alcohol. She does like wine and booze, because you know what happens when you drink booze, right? Sometimes you can get pretty wild. So she also enjoys that. So Eris is friction to get things going. She's the agitator. Like your washing machine, if you have a top loader, has an agitator, and without that agitator, well, nothing gets clean. So she's like that agitator. She's the agitator. She is the friction. She is the force. She is the push. She's the pin up the ass. But there's another side of her that enjoys combat, war, and grief. So she could be used to better someone or destroy someone. So as far as any animals being dedicated to her, her attribute is an apple. So Eris, like I said, she will shake things up. She will shake people up. So she is closely identified and related to the goddess Enyo. And Homer has been known to use their name interchangeably. Though Enyo, I kind of see them different, Enyo and Eris. And she's not the same thing as Nemesis. So some people say, oh, Eris is Nemesis. So according to the Iliad, going back to that, she just likes to wander about, run amok. At first, very small and minute and minuscule, but soon raises her head up to the heavens, where she is from a molehill to a mountain. So she makes things from a molehill to a mountain. Then she can destroy that mountain, level it out to a molehill. So we see that about her. And I still have, now Loki is with me, sitting with me, hanging out with me. Because Loki just, I guess, feels called. So little Loki loves to be famous, don't you, little Loki? So, and by the way, the Trojan War lasted for 10 years. It wasn't just something that lasted for a month, 2 months, a year, about 10 years. So, and it was the Olympians that finally decided that the war has to end. So, what else can I really... Were there any temples to her? Nothing in record. And however, Hesiod did put a positive spin on her description that she's a goddess that people... She remained a goddess. Still, she remained a goddess that people would just rather avoid back then. So she is remembered basically for her causing fights, grudges, rivalry that started the war, the greatest war in between Troy and Greek. So despite this, a lot of people love Eris, or at least work with her. So she has many other children, like the Hismeni, who were the spirits of fighting a hand-to-hand combat. Instead of using, ammunition, these were fist fights. Okay? So the Snomia is basically the spirit, the deity of lawlessness, and the breakdown of civility and civil order. Instead of civil order, we have civil war. So basically, this is who Eris is, and you can also use her to, if you need, basically to cause grief. But remember, is that there is a spin on Eris of who she is. But Hesiod has a different account of, there's two Erises. So anyways, I hope that I have introduced you to another goddess, and we are in the darker half of the year. We're heading towards Samhain, and I thought, wow, why not do a darker goddess that deals with this? And we're also dealing with Hurricane Milton. And it's night time, and I was like, well, let me do a presentation on her. And again, this card comes from Ancient Feminine Wisdom of Goddesses and Heroines by Kay Steventon and Brian Clark. Check it out on Amazon. And if you like my video, please give me a like and subscribe, because that helps me with my channel. Please consider, after this hurricane, because we just, Florida just had Helene go through, and now Milton. Please think about donating gently used clothes, shoes, sneakers. Blood donations could be used right now. People may need that, but definitely, send some money to charities that are going to help people. Volunteer to come over to these places when it's safe to help people. If you know someone who needs a place to crash, help them, or help them find a place. So things like that. And also there's going to be a lot of displaced animals, a lot of animals who are scared and have run off. There's going to be dogs, there's going to be cats, there's going to be wildlife that's going to be in need of help. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and as always, blessed be.